Hey guys, thanks for checking in today. We're gonna get started with our feet. So we're gonna raise up to the balls of the feet and back. So we're working the ankles and feet. Stretch out your toes as you go. And then as you raise, think of lifting your whole spine. So it's like your rib cage lifts up away from the hips. So we're keeping our cores engaged. And then we're gonna take our heels down, lift the toes up, spread them out. And they're gonna stretch the toes way, way out and tap and lift the little toes. Keeping our balance here. Try to keep equal weight distribution on both feet. And then press the little toes down. Stretch out the others, lift them, take all the toes up, bring them down, squeeze the floor. And then release and lift, spread them out again. Let's do that again. Take it down, squeeze, and then release and lift. And then let's do the big toes. Tapping and lifting. And then press the bigs down. Stretch out all the other ones. And then lift all of them up. Take them down and squeeze the floor. And then release. Now we're gonna swing our heels together, making a little V with your feet. So if you need to look down and just kind of get yourself arranged, I want you to think about really squeezing your heels together. So it's not the ankle bones, it's kind of the inner edges of the heels. And then when you do that, feel like you're kind of zipping yourself right up the middle. You're squeezing your thighs toward each other. We're gonna do a lift and lower of the heels, but keeping them squeezing together. So your range of motion isn't gonna be as big as when we come up, when our feet are separated. But keep the squeeze into the heels, and then that's gonna keep the muscles in the inner thighs active. So see where you go. It's a little funny, might be a little wobbly. And then you're gonna take it up and hold. Just find your balance. Now get your cores engaged, lift really tall. Careful, because you might tip, that's okay. And then take it back down. We're gonna do that just one more time. So lift, find a spot that you can hold, squeeze your thighs together, squeeze your heels, and then come back down. Okay, we're gonna separate the heels, and now we'll roll to the ball of one foot, and then just do the lower and lift, pressing into the mat as you go. And then stay up on the ball of the foot, and we'll do our side roll. Just take it over that ball of the foot, back to center. And then stretch into the top of the foot, tops of the toes, front of the ankle, and then bring it down. We're gonna switch. Pressing down first, then lowering and lifting. And we're standing tall, keeping our cores engaged. Okay, go up to the ball, and then do a little side rock. Back to center, and over. All right, we're gonna start with the ball, and we're gonna be doing some squats. I know, everybody's favorite, right? So I'm gonna put the ball at my thighs so it's above the knees, no pressure right on that knee joint. I'm gonna go sideways so you can see this squat that I do. Okay, so lift up tall, anchor your feet, and then give the ball a little bit of a squeeze. And when we do our squat, our first hinge is the hip hinge, like right where my shirt is. You can even put your hands there and sort of feel where that is. It's where the leg connects in at the hip. Then a split second later, the knees bend. So we're gonna take our arms out front, push our hips back, and then drop down. So my knees are not shooting forward over my toes, and I've got some weight back in my heels, and I'm just gonna lift up. And let's do a few of these. So you don't have to go down super low. Ha, I just smashed a bug. And then lift. Hopefully that bug won't be bothering me later. So as you're doing this, I want you to squeeze the ball and try to keep your feet anchored. So this is warming up our hips, our glutes, knees, and ankles. It's a 3 combo hinge. So hips, knees, ankles. Just do a few. And again, you don't have to go down very low. See if you can keep that squeeze on the ball. Now we're gonna take it down and hold. Find where that is for you. You might be real low, that's okay. If you want to kind of raise it a little bit, that's fine. We're just going to hold. So as we do this, squeeze the ball, anchor your feet, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up. Let's roll the shoulders. Okay, take that ball out of there. We're done with that for now. Bring the ball out front. Draw the shoulders down. Take the ball into one hand, it doesn't matter. Press back and get that nice chest stretch. And then let's switch in front. Squeezing the ball with one hand and spreading the fingers out on the other. Thinking of keeping the shoulders down, away from the ears. Let's take it back and hold. Rotate the whole arm. Turn all the way from the shoulder. And then let's go in the other direction. Keeping your arms long. Keeping your shoulders down. Standing tall. Don't forget about your core. And then we're going to rotate palms facing behind us. Push back. Take it down. Switch the ball back behind your hips. And then come back up. So try to keep that rotation where the palms face back. Continue to stand up tall. So think long spine from the tailbone up through the crown of the head. And we're going to keep the ball back here. Hold it with both hands. Press away. Lift the chest. Turn your head. Hold it. Maybe you can go a little farther. Try not to tip your head. And then come through the center. So it's just rotation. And then turn the other way. Reach that ball away from you. And then come through center. Go to the other side once more. And then through center to the other side. Back to center and down. Let's hold the ball in one hand. Raise the opposite arm up and side bend over. Lift tall back to center. Keep your arm reaching to the ceiling. Then bend back over. See where you can go without shifting your hips to the opposite side. So your hips stay right over your feet. Okay, one more. Lift up tall. Bring your arm down. We're going to switch the ball. Just switch it right in front. Place it against your leg. Take the opposite arm up. Side bend over. Press your foot down into the mat and then lift. Okay, let's go two more. That ball can support you as you side bend. And last one. Lift up. Take the arm down and roll the shoulders. Okay, we're going to use the ball for our plank sequence. So we're going to take the ball and this time put it at our feet and ankles. And then step your feet in so that you feel them, again, the muscles engage. It's a little bit different than having it at the thighs, right? So just feel like you get to a spot that you can keep your balance, but those muscles are active. And then we're going to lift ourselves up away from the floor. So you're lifting your rib cage, you're lengthening your spine, and then we'll take the arms up and add a back extension. And we're going to come back to center and round ourselves down. So start looking at your body as you pass. And then we're going to take our hands to the mat. If it means bending your knees, that's okay. And then we're going to walk out into a long arm plank. And we're just going to hold this plank. Okay. So adjust yourself if you need to. I sometimes scoot the ball a little bit if I feel like it's too low or if I'm feeling a little more muscle activity in one side than the other. And think about squeezing that ball not from the ankles but from the inner thighs up near the hips as you hold this plank. Now push yourself away from the mat. The belly lifts, spine is long. Press into fingers and thumbs. And just hold your plank so muscles are engaged. Imagine the hips trying to reach away from the mat. You can pike your hips up if you need to, if you've got a little, I don't know, if you're feeling any strain in the low back, that helps to pike up a little bit. That's just an option. And you can put your knees down on the mat too if you need to. Okay, so knees come down. And we're going to shift our hips back. We're just going to keep the ball in there. And you can take your hips all the way down to the ball if that feels okay. If it's too much flexion on the knees, then don't take your hips as low. So we're just trying to lengthen the spine here. So walk your arms way out. Feel your hips reach in the opposite direction. So maybe we can stretch into the low back a little bit more here. Your head can come down to the mat if that feels good. And then we're going to lift our bellies, round our backs, and let our weight transition forward to hands and knees. Bring your hands under your shoulders, and your knees are going to stay right where they are. So we're going to do a little cat-cow here. So the belly lifts, we round our backs. Look back at your hips. Get as much rounding in your spine as you can. Push yourself into the mat to create more of a bend. And then lift the tailbone, drop the low back, lift your chest, slide your shoulders back. Let's go again. Lift the belly, roll through your spine. Think about articulating one vertebra at a time. And reverse it. Tail up, low back down. chest up. Come back to neutral, and then we're gonna shift our hips back into child's pose. Stretch your arms forward. Walk your fingers forward. Let your chest come down toward the legs. Let your head come toward the mat. Now lift the chest up, kind of looking out toward your hands. And we're gonna get our side bend here. So we're gonna take our left hand off the mat and then the right. And bring your chest down toward your legs. Keeping that bend, reaching a little longer, maybe with your right arm, and lift the chest up, come on through center. Off to the right, bending. And then reach your left arm a little longer. Lift the chest up, come on back. Bring your chest down toward your legs and just get that stretch one more time. Deep breath in. Exhale. And now we'll transition our weight forward to hands and knees again. And then we're gonna take the ball and swing around and come to a seated position. So we're gonna start with the ball back behind our hips with our legs extended out front. And then lift up tall. So I'm wedging the ball in back behind my hips a little bit so it doesn't roll, because I think we're gonna kind of stay here for a while. So make sure you got it nice and solid. Sometimes it gets away from us. Okay, shoulders down, arms come out front. We're gonna lift our spines really tall. Pull in from the lower abdominals and just do a tiny little pelvic tilt. So you go press into the ball with your hips, maybe to about the waistband, and then we're gonna come back up. Reach from your hips, from the low back. The legs are reaching forward as this happens. 2 more like this. Okay, we're gonna sit up tall, extending our arms out front. Imagine that you have one of the balls in your hands too. And we're gonna just twist our bodies a little toward the left. So you're kind of gazing out past the front right corner of your, left corner of your mat. And then we're still gonna roll back and come back up. So our bodies are twisted, but our spines are staying in the middle. Try not to lean. We're gonna do 10. It's just a little roll back. And then lift up taller, 6. Start with the abdominals, tilting your pelvis. 3 more. Just little ones working into the lowest part of your back. And then lift up tall. We're gonna come through center, over to the right. Got it right this time. Roll back and lift. So I'm still facing forward with my face. I'm just adding a little bit of a rotation in my spine. Good. 3 more, starting with the low back. There goes the ball. And 2. 1 more. Lift up tall, come center. All right, we're going back and we're gonna go a little bit farther. So see where you can go, keeping your spine supported. And then we're gonna do some tiny little curls forward here. So my back really isn't leaving the ball, and I'm just thinking of curling the chest forward, not lifting my straight back up. I'm pulling the abs in and curling my spine with the arms nice and long. So the arms create a longer lever. If you need a little less work, you can stack your hands here at your chest, or I guess you can even have them down at your side. Decide what you want to do. Okay, we're gonna curl forward a little bit and hold. Now raise your arms up to the ceiling and then take them back behind your heads and stack your hands. Okay, we're gonna curl back a little bit and forward. As you're doing this, I want you to press your head into your hands. Now, if this arm change made it too difficult for you and you're feeling strain in your back, just put them back to where we started. Reaching out forward or bent. Let's go 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna come forward and lift. Take your arms up to the ceiling and bring them out to the sides, and then roll your shoulders. Okay, we're gonna take the ball, put it at the thighs, and scoot forward. Hands on the shins, Spine's lifted. Bring your pelvis into neutral. If you can get up on your sits bones, that's what we're looking for. If you don't quite make it, that's okay. But we want to see if we can get the natural curves of the spine, especially the low back. We have a tendency to do this, right? And dump into the back. So start lifting and see where you go. So squeeze the ball with your legs and then pull the belly in. Now we are going to round back. Round, round, round until your arms are straight. And then look at the ball. Round forward using your arms. I'm pulling against my shins for sure. And then lift up nice and tall. Let's go again. Pull the belly in first. Roll it back. Look at the ball. And then restack. We're going to do 3 more like that. Pull in. And up. 3. And try and keep moving throughout most of this series today. These series. This series. Okay, take it up tall. Now, arms extend out. Same thing, but we're going to go back a little farther. We're not limited by the length of our arms. Squeeze the ball. Pull in. See where you can go. Find that spot where you know you can get back up. Pull the belly in, roll forward and lift. Keep squeezing the ball. Try to keep your feet down on the mat. Mine just slid, so I think I'm going to try to anchor them a little bit more. 2 more. Leading with the low back. Okay, now changing. We're going to go back and hold. Find the spot where you know you can get back up. And you're not going to strain your neck or back. Squeeze the ball. We're going to let our arms come out to our sides. Maybe they can go as wide as the shoulders, I don't know. And then bring it forward. Let's do that again. So as I'm doing this, I'm finding I need to make a little adjustment. I'm going to move my chest forward a little bit because as my arms widen, I feel myself pulling back toward the back edge of my mat. So I'm going to think of reaching my chest forward and give myself a little more stability there. Keep the low abs pulling in. Keep squeezing the ball. Let's go 5 more. I think that makes 10. There might be a bonus one in there. Keep that squeeze. And then 1 more time. Arms forward. Now hold here for a second. Pull the belly in away from the ball. Look at your ball. Roll forward and then restack the spine. Let's let the arms come down. Okay, ditch the ball for a second. I think we'll go back to it. For now, we're gonna sit up nice and tall. Extend your legs out and then widen them, maybe as wide as your mat or a little wider if that feels okay for your hips. And then we're gonna extend our arms out front first. Let the shoulders come down, sit up on the sit bones, and then we're gonna take our arms all the way out so they're in line with our chest and shoulders. And then turn so your palms face down and pull your fingers together. Okay, so I'm gonna try not to let my arms drift forward as I do this movement. We're gonna do some rotation. So I want you two to feel like the shoulders are down and you're giving a little extra squeeze between the shoulder blades and back. So sitting up tall, we're gonna rotate to the left, keeping our arms out wide and almost like they're reaching behind us. So your range of motion won't be as big as when you let your arms come with you. And then we're gonna come through center, sit up real tall and twist to the other side. Keep the arms reaching, keep the palms down and back to center. Let's go again. So I'm trying to think of lifting my rib cage up away from my hips as I twist and feel like my spine is getting longer. Let's go once more to the left and hold. Now we're gonna keep our arms long and we're just gonna lean to the right, just tip. Now lift up tall, come through center. Go the other way, reach. So see where you can go, keeping the arms long, keeping them reaching back. And now we tip to the left. Keep your spine reaching away. Lift up tall, come to center. And then bring the arms forward, bring your legs together, and we're gonna roll all the way down. Pull the belly in. Your feet will scoot along the mat. Take yourself all the way down. And the arms are gonna come up and over for a stretch and back. And while they're back there, you're gonna bend your elbows, stack your hands, and put your hands right back behind your head. We're gonna do some chest lifts with our legs extended here. So we're not going all the way into a roll up yet, just warming up into the upper back now. So the legs squeeze together. Think of using your arms to lengthen the back of your neck, almost like you're lifting your head a little bit. And then your chest is gonna curl forward, lifting. And just hold here for a second. So if you're feeling any strain on your neck, think of pushing your head back into your hands. That's gonna translate to a little more core work, a little less strain on the neck. And then come all the way back down. Let's do that again. So we stretch first and then lift the chest. So I'm not coming up very high. I'm trying to keep my hips level so I can see that once I get up there. I have a tendency to roll to one side. So kind of look down the line of your body. If you can see your hips, maybe level them out. Come back down. And once more. Okay, we're gonna curl up and try and hit that spot again and hold it. If you need to readjust, go ahead and do that now. We're gonna point our left foot, flex our right ankle, and then lift and lower. We're gonna do 10. Try not to change the rest of your body. Good, 2 more. Let's leave that left leg up. And then we're gonna roll our shoulders and heads down. Bring your arms to the ceiling and then down to your side. Okay, from here we're gonna do pendulum with that extended left leg. So my right heel is still anchored into the mat. Shoulders are down and the leg is gonna come across the body to the right and then pull through center and go to the left. We're gonna do 10. I'm trying to keep my hips anchored. I sure hope you can't hear my stomach growling. It's pretty quiet in here. 2 more. Let's go back to center. Bring the knee into your chest. Place your left foot on the mat. Slide it out. Let's take our arms up to the ceiling, overhead for a stretch. And then we'll repeat. So we stack the hands, put them back behind our heads. Shoulders are down. Think of lengthening the back of your neck. Lift the chest. Look down the line of your body. Flex the left ankle. Point the right foot and lift for 10. Again, trying to keep your hips still. It does not matter how high you kick it. See if you can stay straight at the knee. Keep your flexion, or if it's starting to bother your back, you can take your head and shoulders back down to the mat. 1 more. Let's leave the right leg up. Shoulders and heads come down. Arms to the ceiling and then to your sides. Anchor your hips. See if you can get the pelvis in neutral. Stretching that right leg and then take it across the body through center and to the side. One more each way. Back to center. Bring the knee into your chest for a stretch. Okay, from here we're gonna go into a scissor set. So we're gonna extend the leg to the ceiling, reach back behind that leg, stretch those hammies, shoulders come down. So you can hold behind the thigh or calf. Just a reminder, not right on the knee joint. Chins toward our chest, come up, shoulders down. Hover your left leg, point that foot. Okay, so we're gonna use our arms for this one. It's an option to have your hands behind your head. We're gonna go into a crisscross scissor after this. So if you wanna start with your hands there right now, that's fine. Lifting the chest. I like the extra stretch I get on the hammies when I use my arms, so that's up to you. We're just gonna do one slow switch here, just so I can get that, we can get that stretch in our other leg. So now the left leg is up. Use your arms to lift your chest, curling, and then we're gonna do 10 sets. And 9, try to keep your body really still. Okay, let's get the right leg up. Take your hands back behind your head if they're not there yet. We're gonna rotate toward that right leg. Stay lifted with the chest, through the chest, and then scissor again as you twist. One more each leg. Come on back to center. Bend your knees, roll it down, reach for your shins. And stretch it out. Okay, bodies to the center, feet to the mat. We're gonna stretch them out along the mat. Take your arms up overhead, get a big stretch. We're going for some roll-ups now. Hopefully they'll work. We'll see. It's been a few weeks. Squeeze the legs together. Raise your arms up to the ceiling. Feel your shoulders come down. Start to lower your arms, start bending your spine, push your body down into the mat. If you need to use your hands to get through your stuck spot, like I just did, go ahead. Now we're gonna round over the legs, bending our spines, pull in, and then restack. Feel like the rib cage, again, is lifting up away from the hips. And then we're gonna roll back again. Come down. I don't know if I can make it without holding on. We'll see. Bend the spine, press into the mat. Yeah, just barely. So I'm feeling my feet lift off the mat. I'm gonna try and keep them down and then maybe use my hands until I get through that little stuck spot. So try to stay anchored into your mat. It's gonna help with oppositional force. Roll it back. You can always change your hand position too. Bend. Yeah, little assist. And then reach it forward. Restack. We're gonna go down one more time. Roll it. Then take it up and over. Raise. And round. Now let your hands come down, hold on. Bend your spine, pull that belly in. Big breath in, filling up your back. Nice big exhale, drawing the belly in. Stay rounded here. You're gonna release where you're holding and let your arms travel up toward your ears and then come up away from your legs with a straight back. And think of pressing your chest forward, reaching your arms back. And then when you sit up straight, take your long spine back and let your arms come forward. And then from there, we're gonna do that again. Raise the arms, press your chest forward. Think of a long straight back. We're getting a little bit of a back extension there. And then come forward. Now, if this is not okay with your shoulders, you can stack your arms and just hinge your spine forward. Hinge your body forward, straighten your spine, and come back up. So see what works for you. Flex at the ankles. Now bring the tops of the feet toward you and hinge and up. One more time. I forgot to lower my arms that time. And then bring it forward. Now keep your arms out. Relax your ankles. Let's take our feet wide again. We're going to do that rotation that we did earlier. So the arms are coming out to our sides. We're going to rotate so our palms are down. Shoulders come down. I'm going to spin a little so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so lift up tall. This time we're going to rotate to the right first. So I'm keeping my arms reaching back. Take the head with you and then come through center. Keep the arms wide, keep them reaching, twist, and then through center again. And now we're gonna hold and we're gonna tip to the left. Lift up tall. And rotate through center, rotate to the left, and tip to the right. And then back to center. And then let's bring everything to the middle and down. Okay, side leg sequence. We're gonna use the red ball again. So we are going to lay on our sides, come all the way down, and then we're gonna put the ball in the bend of our top knee, our left knee. And then abs engage, stack your hips, and then your bottom, I'm gonna bend my bottom leg. Bend your bottom leg too. If you can, try not to let that bottom leg drift forward. See if you can get it back in line with the rest of your body and press it down into the mat. And then give the ball a squeeze. So we're engaging our hammies. So there's potential for a hamstring cramp on this one. If that happens, just ditch the ball and work in a straight leg. But I'm gonna try to do this so that we keep the hip extension and then keep the engagement in the hammies and then the stretch in the quads. So your top hand, your left hand's in the front. Squeeze the ball, and then we're gonna go lift and lower, going for 10. Trying not to let that leg drift forward. Now, I want you to raise it as high as it can go without it rotating, and we're going to press up for 10, 9, 8, working into the glutes. Now bring that top knee down to hip height, and we're going to circle, just like we do with full leg circles. We're going to bring the knee forward and up and around and back. When you bring it back, make sure that knee passes behind your top hip. So we get that hip extension. So good to do if you're sitting a lot. And then let's reverse. So we go back first, up and around. Really pull back, get opening in the hip. If you keep your abs engaged, it hopefully won't strain that your low back. Reach back 6. And then one more. Bring it in. Now we're going to take the ball out, stretch both legs out, and place them on the mat. So the ball is going to come in front of your chest. You're going to place your hand on top. So we're going to try not to really press down super hard on the ball. It's a little bit more of a balance challenge. If that's too much for you, then kind of scoot the ball away and you can put your hand back down on the mat. Okay, so we're going to do that same sequence with a straight leg. So the bottom leg presses down. We point our top foot, take the top leg up, find your balance, flex your ankle and lower down. Point and lift, flex and lower. And then one more. Take your top leg to hip height, point your foot. So light hand on the ball if you can. We circle forward, up, and back. And then let's reverse, reach back, come around 10, 9, press your bottom leg down into the mat. One more. Okay, bring the leg down, bend your knees, roll onto your back. You can keep the ball with you. You're gonna cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And then let that leg open out. Bring your pelvis into neutral. Just relax here for a sec. Okay, let your muscles release into that stretch. Oh. That was kind of harder than I thought it was gonna be. Press into your right foot and lift your hips up. Oh yeah, that's a tough one. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze that right butt. Okay, bring it down. Uncross. Let's just stretch the legs out for a second. I think I need to do that. Release the hip a little bit. Okay, round 2. So I'm just gonna swing around. You can roll over or you can get up and move like I did. I'm laying on my left side. I'm gonna put the ball, the bend of the right knee. Let your bottom knee be bent. Think of the legs being parallel to each other. Head down. Okay, give the ball a little squeeze, flex your ankle, and then lift and lower. Keep the knee reaching back. And then we're going to bring the knee to hip height, and we'll do our circles. We come forward, up, around, and back. I'm pressing down into my bottom leg. Keep the squeeze on the ball. 2 more. Okay, and let's reverse. Reach back, come around, back and around. Try for that extension in the hip as you push back. Keep the squeeze on the ball. Shoulders relaxed. Okay, let's go 2 more. Okay, and back where we started. Now take the ball out, straighten both legs. The ball comes in front of the chest, shoulders down, hips stacked. Okay, press the bottom leg down, hand light on the ball if you can, and then point your top foot. Let's raise, get our balance, flex the ankle, come down, point and lift. Top leg to hip height, point and circle forward, up and back. So my range of motion is much smaller with my bottom leg straight, and I'm way more wobbly. Trying not to press down on the ball too much. Let's go 1 more, possibly 10, and then reach back, get the extension, and around. So with control, make your core do some work here so you don't start wobbling around. It's always an option to bend your bottom leg too, but a little more challenge if you keep it straight. 3 more. Check those abs, zip them up. And 2, and last one, bring it down. Ooh. Okay, roll onto your back. Bring the ball with you, just hold it at your chest. Now the right ankle crosses over the left thigh and slowly open out, bringing the pelvis to neutral. Tailbone heavy, shoulders relaxed. Let's take a couple of deep breaths. Okay, press down into your left foot, lift the hips up. Get that good stretch. If this is too much, just keep your hips down. Lower down. Uncross your legs. Okay, ditch your ball. We're done with it for today. Let's walk our knees and feet together. Take our arms all the way out to the sides, palms down, shoulders down. Let the knees come to the floor on the left. And let your head roll to the right. Think of your arms reaching a little bit longer if you can. Take a big breath. And let's bring faces to the center. Abs in. Let your knees come through center. Down to the mat on the right. And then let your head roll to the left. Faces back to center, knees to center, arms along our sides. All right, we're gonna step our feet about hip distance apart. Let your shoulders come down to the mat. We're gonna do a little bridge sequence, so let your pelvis roll under you, lift the hips up, push evenly into both feet. And just feel a nice stretch in the front line of the body. So the hips press up, the glutes squeeze, the arms reach long, and then roll yourself back down. So do it slowly. Picture your spine coming down piece by piece, and then back to neutral. And then here we go again. So we tilt the pelvis first, press evenly into the feet, reach your shins and toes forward. And back down. And one more time. Just working through every little bit of your spine. And on the way down especially, making the abdominals do some work there. Roll it down. And then let's straighten out the legs. Okay, let's see if we can do a roll up from here. I'm starting with my hands against my thighs. I don't think I'm gonna make it if I take my arms up overhead. But if you wanna try that, go ahead, start back here. I'm starting here because I think I'm fairly certain I need the assist. Okay, Squeeze your legs together. You're going to stretch into the back of your neck. If your arms are on the floor behind you, raise them. Take them to the ceiling. And then chins toward the chest. We're going to start our roll-up. Squeeze the legs together. Use your arms if you need to. And then roll yourself forward, stretching into your spine. Let's flex our ankles. Release where you're holding. Bring your hands to the mat. Slide them into your hips and roll yourselves up. Roll the shoulders. Okay, I want to get a little side flexion. So I want you to cross your legs in front of you. If this is not comfortable for you, you can diamond your legs or you can just take them out. But I want to do a side bend with our hips down on the mat. I'm going to do this because my hips are tight. I know I need to work on that a little bit. So I'm going to get to a spot where I can kind of stand up. Okay, sit up nice and tall. Shoulders come down. You're going to put one hand on the mat. You're going to raise the opposite arm. Now, before we side bend over, the arm that's raised, imagine anchoring that hip down into the mat. So we don't want to just lean. Think of stretching the spine up and side bending like we do when we're standing. You can press down with your hand that's on the mat. It's okay. And then lift up nice and tall. Keep the arm at your ear and then side bend again. So my opposite arm, yeah, it's definitely bending. And then lift. Let's go one more time. And lift up tall, bring the arm down, and then we're gonna switch. So raise the arm, the raised arm side, that hip is pressing down into the mat as we side bend away from it. And then lift. Let's go 2 more. Bring it down. Okay, here's the bad part. If you've got your legs crossed, we're gonna look down, see which one is in front, and switch the cross. So go the other way. Usually this is not our favorite side. All right, we're gonna lift up nice and tall. Shoulders are down. And then we're gonna keep our hand on the mat. Go back to the side we started with. Side bend over, anchor the hip of the arm that's raised. And then lift, and let's go 2 more. Push your opposite hip down. Bending your spine. Lift up, take it down. And then we switch, last round. Side bend, and up. And bring it down. Okay, we're gonna take our legs out in front of us. Round down over the legs. Just bring your chest down. Let the top of your head come down toward your legs. And then roll up, roll the shoulders. All right, we're gonna flip over and do one little set for back extension. So come down to your belly. We're gonna bend our arms and put our hands down on the mat and then bring our foreheads to the mat too. Let your legs relax. Feel the bones of the pelvis anchor into the mat. So without moving your body, I want you to feel like you're gonna lift the belly button up. So don't change where you're laying. Just feel the muscles of the abdominals lifting away from the mat. And then release them. Just let them be really loose, let them come down to the mat. And then we're gonna lift again. Keep our pubic bones anchored and start to lift our chests looking out toward the edge of your mat. Keep your elbows down on the mat. Spread out your fingers and thumbs, press into the fingertips, and then come back down. And release everything, even the belly. So now, do it again, lift the belly button. Anchor your pubic bone, start to lengthen your spine, lift the chest. So keeping the pubic bone down is gonna keep our pelvis in neutral. So we shouldn't feel a lot of strain in the low back. You'll feel a little bit of muscle work, that's okay. And then come back down. We're gonna go one more time and we're gonna add on a little bit of a lift if that feels okay for your back. Okay, so even the belly releases now. Okay, so lift the belly. Anchor the pubic bone. Lengthen your spine first and then lift. Find a spot that feels okay. Now, if you want, you can stay here or you can press up. And just lift, lengthen. Widen the collarbones. Lengthen the back of your neck. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, we're gonna lower down. Elbows come down. And rib cage. And foreheads. Pull your legs together. Move your hands back a little bit. Lift your chest. We're gonna slide the knees in, push the hips back into child's pose. And then take the hips all the way down to the heels. Stretch the arms really long in front of you. Let your foreheads come to the mat if that feels comfortable. You can stack your hands and rest your forehead on your hands if you want. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift the belly. Transition your weight forward to hands and knees. Place your hands under your shoulders. Spread the fingers and thumbs way out. And then separate your knees and place them right under your hips. Okay, we're going to go up into a down dog, but not quite yet. Roll the shoulders back. Press into the mat so the muscles in your arms are active. You feel the belly lift. Lift your feet up. Flex at your ankles. Wiggle the toes around a little bit and then tuck them under. Get a nice stretch underneath the toes where they come together at the feet. Okay, press into the fingertips and your thumbs and your toes and just hover your knees here. Feel the belly lift. Don't start to straighten your legs yet. The first move is just sliding, stay hovering, slide your hips back toward your heels. And now start to straighten your legs. Feel your chest reach toward your thighs. Stretch your heels to the mat. Let your head hang. Come up on the toes. Come back down. We're going to lift and hold. Okay, let one knee bend, let the other heel come to the mat. Go to tippy toe, switch. Tippy toe and switch. Let's just do a couple sets. Get all those cracks out of there. Up on both toes, bring your heels down. And now we're going to walk our feet toward our hands. And just hang here for a second. Okay, so feel a nice stretch in the low back and hips and your hammies. Get to a spot where your hands are still on the mat. Okay for knees to be bent. We're going to nod our heads yes. Bring them back to center. Turn them to the side. No. And back to center. And then we're going to place our hands on our shins and lift our chests up. So think long spine. Let your shoulders roll back. Lift the tailbone in the back. And then bellies lift. We're going to round down. Let your arms hang. Big breath in. And then on the exhale, lift the belly. Start to round your back. And roll up. Come up all the way to standing. Inhale, raise the arms up overhead. We're going to hold on to our right wrist. Side bend over to the left. And come up tall. Switch arms. Side bend. And back to center, reach. And then take the arms down and roll your shoulders. Okay, thanks for joining me today. And I will see you next week.